I'm Jason Fitz from Rivals.com, hanging out with Georgia Tech head coach Brent Key on recruiting day, or signing day. Coach, really appreciate your time. Walk me through this class. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I feel good. We've been able to this point. I think we're at 29 guys we're able to bring in to this point. I think there's probably three or four more out there right now that we're waiting on announcements for. That coaches are still down there working the phones and text and all that stuff nonstop as I came up here. And of the 29 that are in right now, 20 of those guys are going to be mid-year guys. So they're guys that we're going to be able to get immediate help from right away.
I always find it interesting because last year, obviously, you were an interim coach. And now this is your first full season. What's the difference for you going into this sort of a full recruiting season when you're the man in charge the whole way?
Yeah, I think the confidence in the recruiting from the beginning, the confidence in what the program is. I mean, you still for half the year have not put a product on the field really, but then as that product starts to come on the field and people are seeing now that it's not things you're just saying, it's also things that are taking place and transpiring out on the football field. So I think that's been a part. Relationships that are being built with underclassmen, previously a year ago. So you just kind of hope that it continues to get better and better as you move forward.
I mean, obviously, you're Georgia Tech through and through. You played there, you've been there, you coached there. How does that sort of impact the message you give about the school when you talk to recruits?
Yeah, tremendously. I mean, it's something that this place is near and dear to me. Outside of my family, I mean, this is something that everything I have goes into it. And I've walked in the same shoes as these guys. I mean, I've gone to the same classes. I've done the same things. I've had the same challenges that they have. I've learned the same types of things that they learn, and it's when you can say that to your team, it has an effect on the field. But now when you can say it to a recruit, right, that you really do understand what they're going to go through, right? There's no BS to it when you're talking to the kids.
But there's a major difference from when you played to now. Name, image, likeness, transfer portal. It's all so different. How did you guys as a school sort of navigate an NIL world?
Yeah, I mean, you do it the best you can. I mean, we have a plan. We have a plan that's set for our place. It's set for Georgia Tech. It's something that I'm very near to. I handle 100% of it. It's something that I don't want other people getting involved with. From a standpoint of other coaches, there doesn't need to be anything when it comes to that from the other coaches, and it's a plan that works for us. And I think that's the biggest thing about this is you have to have a plan that works for you.
A lot of coaches have come out and spoken out negatively against it. For you, do you feel an impact or a difference when you're in living rooms talking to kids in an NIL world?
Yeah, I do. And look, I'm not like that. I mean, I'm not one that's going to sit back and complain about the way things are, or the way they used to be. I mean, if you all the time that you spend doing that is time wasted on trying to figure it out and navigate it the best for you. And I think these kids, they should have their value and their image and their likeness compensated through the NIL world. I mean, I'm a believer in it. Look, I played the college game. I mean, I know what type of hours they put in here at Georgia Tech. I know what kind of struggles they go through as college kids. It's something that, I believe that it's a good thing that they're able to do this. Now, are there, certain, standards that could be added and help, throughout? I think that goes with anything that's new within legislation or new within rulings within collegiate athletics. But I think it's good for the kids. I'm happy for them, and I want those guys to be able to do as well as they can.
It's interesting because you mentioned you played, obviously, and we talked about that already here, but I do see more of that than ever in the college football landscape. It feels like more recent players talking to kids about the playing experience. Do you find that as a coach, your playing days help you resonate better right now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you don't ever want to lose sight of what it's like to be 18 to 23 years old. We're all trying to fight. We're all trying to capture it and keep it for as long as we can. But then some people, when it comes to how they, operate and how the things operate, they had, it's like they had short memories and they don't remember the things that they actually went through at that age. So, to be able to relate to them in some way, because the struggles we had, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, they're the same struggles that take place now. They're the same struggles that took place 20 years before that. So, to relate to them and be upfront and honest with them and keep things, in black and white, as opposed to getting into this gray world that everybody wants to live in, I think it helps us.
One of the guys that you've recruited, one of the guys you're bringing in, Aon Pho, has set every passing record at Georgia. Everybody's talking about him. What did you guys see in him that you liked?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it. We saw a competitive kid, number one, and I think that at the quarterback position, you want to have somebody who's competitive. You want to have somebody that can really have a leadership role among his peers, leadership role on his team. They're not just out there playing the game as a single asset on their team. They're actually playing it for the betterment of everyone around them. And then as you get deeper in and you start to build the relationship with the kid and the family, and then you're digging into how he plays the game, how he throws the ball. He really checked all the boxes for us.
Obviously, the ACC's had plenty of conversation. What has your message been to kids when you're recruiting them about the conference as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, it's a conference that is competitive as any conference. You look at the amount of teams that are in bowl games this year, the type of offenses that are being played in our league right now. I mean, it goes across the board from teams that are playing 12 personnel, heavy run, play action teams, playing wide open spread offenses. I mean, it's been a quarterback driven league for several years now, and it continues to be that. The quarterbacks in the league are really good players, and to be able to put those guys around them, well, now at the same time to be able to recruit guys on defense to be able to stop those guys and slow them down. The skill guys in this league have been good for about 3, 4, 5 years now. When it comes to the offensive weapons, you look at the lines of scrimmage now; they're continuing to get bigger and bigger in the conference. This is a conference that top to bottom checks everything for me personally, and then that's the same way I talk to the kids about it. I mean, you're talking about the full gamut of what you want in college to be a student athlete, and the ACC is where it is.
Man, Coach, the coolest thing about signing day to me is that it's a chance for you to really have your impression on what your program is. So I want you to give the nation your message. Like when you think Georgia Tech, Coach Key, who are you and who is this program?
Toughness, discipline, commitment to each other, commitment to yourself, commitment to each other, and execution. When I talk about execution, though, I talk about having players that want to go make plays. Right? I want guys that have the confidence in themselves and in their abilities. They work hard to be able to fine tune and improve their skill set. But those are the 4 things. But if there's one of anything that stands above anything else, it's toughness. I mean, it's a game. That's what football is.
All right. So end of the day, all said and done, how's Coach going to celebrate a glorious day?
Got a staff meeting coming up right now. Then we have, we got that practice tape from this morning. We play on Friday, so probably have another couple hours of that. I'll have a coordinator meeting, then I'll rush up, change. We'll have our end of the year team banquet tonight. More game planning to do tonight. Hopefully, spend a little bit of time with my wife and my daughter, and get ready to rock and roll tomorrow.
Congratulations on the season. Congratulations on the day. I know you're slammed. We really appreciate your time, Coach. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Go Jackets.